Hi everybody, I'm going to take a few minutes today just to talk about the final exam, and I'll post the link to this screencast down there in the final exam area. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Control F, and I'm going to go down to the final exam. Here it is, the instructions for Part A of the final exam that's due at the start of the final exam period, and then the instructions for Part B that's due at the end of the exam period. So the the final exam Part A is due at the start of the final exam period. Part B is due at the end. You don't have to be present. You could do Part A and Part B and upload them before the end of the final exam period. You could do Part A before the start and then do Part B during the final exam period. Frankly, I think your best bet's just to do the whole thing and have it uploaded before the final exam period, so you don't have to be there. And I've got all that explained in here, that it's online, etc. It's all right in here. I want to show you one other thing, another thing, pardon me. This is the final exam schedule for my courses. I have it down there in the finals week area. Enable this. And you can see down here, this class that meets in the evening, this class meets on Thursday nights. BS 11, BIS 4403 meets on Thursdays at 6 p.m. And as mentioned, as OBU's policy, all evening exams will have their final exams at regularly scheduled class time. So the final exam for this class would be Thursday, May 14th at 6 o'clock p.m. Again, you don't have to be here. And frankly, my advice would be do the work before, turn it in so you don't have to be here. Okay? Um, I'll close this Word document off, and then we'll pop open the Part A. Here's the instructions for Part A. Part A is worth 100 points. It's the take-home portion of the final exam. You're going to develop a database that provides solved questions for Chapter 1 through Chapter 20 of text number 2. That's the Patrick text. You're going to draw the items from the key points section. Each chapter in that book has a key points section. Your database has to have 5 key points per chapter. The items should be true, false. Your database is going to consist of one table, okay, and it's going to have the following attributes, i.e. fields: the item number, the item, that is the question, the chapter from which the item is drawn, the page from which the item is drawn, and the correct answer. Okay, that's pretty simple. So you'll want to do that. That's Part A. And as you would guess, Part B involves you doing some work with that database. In fact, I mentioned something, and there in the instructions it says 100 points. Let me open this back up. Make a correction here. Part A is not worth 100 points. It's worth 105 points. Okay? So it's worth 105 points. And that's my phone ringing, as you can hear. And I'll let it ring. An added bonus. So it is worth 105 points. Part B is worth 125 points. And I'll have to let that thing ring, and then I'll get back to it later. This is probably going to sound about as weird as it can be. But the phone ringing has stopped. We can continue on with this exercise. Again, the final exam, Part B. There are the instructions. I'll open that back up. And those are worth 125 points. Now, as you guessed, I had you create the database so you could do some work with it. And I have a whole series of queries that I'm going to ask you to do. There's quite a few here. There are 20 of them. And each one you should name it, task 1, task 2, task 3, etc. And I have you use a series of techniques here, processes that we've done. even in creating a new table, updates the field in the table, etc. So this really walks you through everything we are going to do or have done, including running a parameter query and a subquery. You'll note I often refer to pages here, and these are where you can find an example. For example, not to be redundant, for if you want to see an example of the group by clause, take a look at pages 438 to 447. It talks about it. The having clause, page 460. You get my drift. So I'll close that off. Well, not much else to add to that. I think it's pretty simple. Just some work to do. Again, as I note down here, it's online, etc. I've talked about that. And you'll want to make certain you read this little area down here. And my advice would be do the work in the BBC lab so there are no problems. Follow the instructions, get it done, get it turned in before the final exam period. If you want to go in at that Thursday night and do the work, that's up to you. Frankly, I wouldn't do that. You never know what will happen. It's better just to have the thing turned in. Okay, thanks a lot and have a great, great day. And see you in class.